Hello my friends, it's been over a year since I've covered Skyrim VR Mods, and I'm really excited to be back. I've recently started a brand new playthrough for myself, so I decided to try out some new mods, because you never want to change your mod list in the middle of a game. We've got a lot of amazing new things to cover, and I'm continually grateful for the amazing modding community that makes Skyrim VR my #1 favorite to play. First up is an update for SkyVRaan Waters by Wolfman5750. I announced SkyVRaan in a previous video because I think this is a must-have for enjoying beautiful views in VR, but there's been significant improvements that are worth mentioning. Besides improved visuals with the water itself, there's also more happening below the surface with new algae and watergrass that gives the feeling of a lush underwater world that's teeming with life. Another big improvement is the more streamlined installation. Previous versions of SkyVRaan required more steps than most other mods, but the recent update is a much simpler installation. So if you've been putting off trying SkyVRaan because of the old workflow, then now is the time to get this in your load order. It makes the landscapes stunning to behold.
Hey, watch it! Hands off. Get away from me.
From the creator of Higgs, Flying Particle is back with PLANCK, which provides physically driven animations in Skyrim VR. NPCs respond to your actions in immersive ways. You can see them react to your weapon swings in the direction that you hit them. If you push and shove NPCs too much, they'll turn hostile against you. You can lead NPCs to new places if you hold them by the hand, and much more. The fact that this mod even exists is pretty incredible. It adds so much more interactivity to this world. It's a must download for sure.
What do you think? Last mistake.
Here we go again. Hey, you broke a nail.
If you browse for VR mods on the Nexus, then you've probably noticed that many mods require a prerequisite, a dress library for SKSE by Math321. The problem is that a dress library never worked in VR, so a lot of the really cool mods that are built on this library were never possible in the VR version of Skyrim. That is, until now. Alan DTSE has created a VR replacement for the address library, which makes many of the more popular library mods now available to VR players. You need to download the specific VR versions that Alan has ported, and be sure to mind any prerequisite mods that might be required. There's a ton of amazing things now available to us, but I'll just show 2 quick ones. The first is security overhaul lock variations, originally by the mod authors Power3, WSkeever, and Krista. This provides visual variety in lockpicking, so you're not seeing the same old lock for every door and chest. This really should have been in the base game, and I love seeing the variety in here. The second one I'll mention is Essential Favorites, also originally by Power3. With this installed, items that you favorited can't be sold or dropped. Very handy indeed. Moving on, Blocking in Flash VR by Hitman TE creates visual sparks and impact sounds whenever you successfully block an opponent's strike. It's a very powerful effect that adds excitement to the combat, although I will say it's a little funny whenever an animal causes the sparks. Durability VR by Shizoff provides health-based degradation for weapons and armor. Equipped items start at 100 health and degrade on successful use. You can see in your inventory the amount of damage each item has taken. You can even see how much damage enemy NPC items have taken when you look in their inventory. Tempering an item will restore all durability. By default, when an item reaches 0%, it's destroyed. But this mod is highly configurable, and you can instead choose to have items that reach 0% enter a broken state that you can restore by tempering. I think Durability VR provides a fascinating new way to play the game that requires you to think more about maintaining your equipment. It's pretty slick, and I recommend taking it for a spin. With Immersive Smithing by Cylon Surfer, you can improve your weaponry and armor in a more natural way without using menus. You can now smelt ore by hand, heat your weapons and hammer them on the anvil, use the grinding wheel, and much more. I love seeing improvements like this that take us out of the menu system so that we can perform actions more naturally in this virtual world. I really hope this trend of modding continues. Seeing developments like this is awesome. Immersive Tree Chopping VR by the Retro Carrot allows you to use trees as a harvesting source for firewood. If you play with the campfire mod, then I think this is a must-have. In the past, I covered separate mods for using the wood chopping block and mining ore, but VR Refit Mine Chop and Drop by Blunderblast does it all within a single mod. And of course, be sure to note the required prerequisites for this. And on the topic of wood chopping, I would get annoyed whenever an NPC would feel threatened whenever I was chopping wood with my axe. Thankfully, there's now no swing warnings when wielding tools by Adrielphus VIII. It prevents others from complaining while you're using your tools. This mod, and all the remaining in this video, are not exclusive to VR and are available in flat screen too. Have you ever been carrying too much inventory in the game and need to lighten your load without losing items permanently? Create Hidden Wilderness Stashes by Simly. Lets you stash away your items underneath a discrete pile of branches, a rock, or invisibly. It's activated via a new power, and I prefer to cast this power using a VRIK gesture. By default, your stashes are safe from enemies, but you have the option to add a chance for it to be found and looted by a passerby. When you're able to come back for your stuff, you can leave the stash spot there or destroy it. I think this is a nice little way to handle your inventory until you're able to afford a house with safe storage. In the past, I covered Dynamic Animation Replacer, and there's an outstanding new library of animations now possible thanks to CHIMgarden. I'll link to their portfolio down below because I recommend everything they've made, the most notable of which are the animations that add variety to NPCs during dialogue. Because after playing for a while, you begin to notice that all characters do the exact same animation loop while you're talking to them, which feels robotic and boring. But CHIMgarden has created a lot of new animations for dialogue with unique conditions depending on the NPC's personality, role in society, and armor type. These animations make dialogue much more dynamic. Very highly recommended. In one of my earliest mod videos, I showcased some town overhauls, and I want to make one small nod to a beautiful new addition, Cities of the North Falkreath by JP Steel 2. This transforms Falkreath into a magical capital hold with gorgeous new architecture and custom interiors too. If you're not using any Falkreath mods, then definitely try this out yourself. It looks amazing in VR. Lately it's dawned on me that fast travel in this game is pretty OP, and I've been wanting an incentive to either travel by foot or some kind of a penalty for fast travel. My solution for this is RAB Fast Travel Costs by Ross Adam Baker. It's pretty simple. When you fast travel, various supplies like food, potions, and gold will be used up in your inventory. There's a chance you might have caught a disease from being in a fight as well. Everything is configurable in the mod configuration menu. And finally, I've been on the hunt for some kind of a sorting system in this game, a way to assign containers in your home with item sorting automation. General stores seems to be the gold standard, but I've always found this to be too confusing. I could never really figure it out. However, General Stores Assigned Storage by Sandman53 is an add-on for general stores that makes the sorting setup rather intuitive and easy. Now I'm going to give you a real-time example of how straightforward the setup for these containers is, and this simple setup is why I love this system so much. I'm going to put on the Mystic Necklace. You craft this yourself. Now that I'm wearing the necklace, I'm in setup mode. Let's go to this container that's near the alchemy lab. I'm going to have this be ingredients. So I'll choose store, main stores, alchemy. Alright, that's now going to auto sort my alchemy ingredients. Necklace is still on. Let's choose this bookcase. I want this to sort my books. Choose store, main stores, books. Okay. And let's do one for food, 1/3 example. A barrel is good for food. Choose store, main stores, food. Okay, that's enough setup. I'm going to take off the necklace. That's it. It's all configured now. So, I'm going to choose alchemical stores. And it lets you choose how you want this sorted. You can store all of them instantly, keep one ingredient in your inventory, cooking items that's related to food, or just browse what's inside. I'm going to keep one of all ingredients, storing the rest. There, it's done. So in my inventory, I still have one of all ingredients, so I can eat them and try them. But everything else was automatically stored in here. The food storage has more options, food stores. I can store all food, only raw food, cooked foods. I'm going to just store all. All food stashed, just like that, instantly. And then I can choose pantry to see all the stuff that's in here. And especially useful is books, because books really add up. Books and papers. I can, just like with the ingredients, store one copy. You can choose spell tomes, browse library. I'm going to store all. And this one takes a second for the computer to do it all. All books stashed. Browse library. There's all the books. So this sorting system isn't for everyone. It's not super immersive, the fact that it's automatic like that, but I just love how easy and straightforward the setup is. You wear a necklace, you choose containers, take the necklace off, setup is done. It's just so clean. I love it. There's more advanced features, like when you're wearing the necklace, you can choose one container as a master sorting container that will then automatically filter to your other containers. You can create containers while you're standing. There's much more beneath the surface you can do. But most of the time, I only set up a handful of containers and call it good. That's mostly what I do. Especially with alchemy. I just really love how alchemy is so much easier to manage for me personally. Also of note is that all of these inventories can be shared in multiple houses. Let's, as an example, put on this necklace. We're back in setup mode. I'm going to choose this as books. Okay. Take necklace off. So just imagine that this container is in another house. I can browse my library in here. I can also browse my library in here. They share the same container inventory, as it were. So if you have multiple houses, you can share your inventory and your storage through all your houses, which is also pretty handy. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of the system. It's my preference, and hopefully it's useful to you. So that's, I think with that, that's the video. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you later. See ya. Bye. Well, that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you see, please subscribe. See ya.